Hey guys, I guess we're all stuck at home for a while, but I figured I'd do a kiln firing since I hadn't done one in a while. I had this loaded up since probably September, so I don't even know what's in it, so let's take a look. So there's the first look. I'm not sure what we'll see, but I know these top four bowls I glazed yesterday. The glaze was pretty thick and had a bunch of spots in it, but it looks like everything came out okay. So I'll get this first one unloaded and then we'll see what's underneath. Alright, so here's the mugs that were underneath that shelf. Not even sure what glaze this one is, but it looks kind of cool. Looks like we had a little drip that stuck. Not too bad, doesn't look like there's any on the shelf. So I'll get these out and then we'll take a look closer at the pots. So it looks like I had one piece that's stuck. I don't know if you can see that very well, but you can see where it's stuck on the shelf. Not too bad, but I figured I'd point it out. Alright guys, there's the next shelf. You can see spots where glaze had stuck before, but everything in this one looks pretty good, so we'll unload it and take a look later. Alright, so it looks like we had another one that stuck. Again, not too bad. That's right there, you can see on the shelf. I'll clean these up in a little bit, grind them down and whatever. I can show you that too, but so far so good. Alright, and there's the last shelf, just a big platter and a couple of sauce bowls. So pull those out and we'll take a look. Alright, so it looks like we got everything unloaded. Only had a couple pieces that stuck, but let's try to figure out some of these glazes. Alright, so I tried to get some of these in the sun, although there's not a lot of sun out today, so you can't see very well. But this glaze is called the Sage, Toasted Sage, I believe. And it's pretty cool. It came out pretty smooth for how it went on. It had a lot of chunks in it, but it looks like it did okay. And you can see that it didn't run at all, so that's a good sign. Moving on to these little sauce dishes. These are Chino, and they came out pretty red for what they usually do. You can see that little bit of tan in there. That's usually what they do. But those came out fine too. They're just a little thin on the inside. You can see the little grit from the clay body. This is light gold, and I forget the name of the other one, but it's the one that stuck, and I'll have to grind those off later. I usually a Dremel tool with a grinding bit to smooth everything out. Probably won't sell these because of that, but we'll see what they look like after they're ground down. This bowl has the ancient copper on it. You can kind of see the copper, but not too much. In person you can see it quite a bit, but it looks pretty black in the camera. Then there's this one. I wasn't sure. It ran just a little bit, stuck, but let me pull out another mug with the same glaze so I can show you what it should have been. Alright, so this is the glaze that I believe that other mug is. You can see how it's got the shine to it, and it's almost like it has glitter in the glaze. So this is what it should have come out. I probably put it on too thin on the other pot, although I do kind of like how it turned out. I haven't ever had that glaze run before, so that's new. And this one is a light gold. You can see how it has a lot of crystals that developed in it. Probably put it on a little thick. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I think it looks pretty nice either way. This mug was a test. I had never used this glaze before. It dripped just a little bit, but it didn't stick to the shelf. It has really good color in person. Hopefully it comes through. But this is called Hyacinth. Next we have Chino with the gunmetal green around the rim. And that came out pretty nice. That Chino doesn't run, but the gunmetal does, so you gotta be a little careful with that. Then we have this other mug, same as the one before, also stuck just like the one before. So you can see how it chipped off that bottom of the pot. So I'll have to grind that down, see what I can do with that. These two, I might reglaze the bottom. You can see how it's a little thin. It should look like right here, but the lower spots didn't get quite enough glaze on it. But the combo looks really nice. That one just stuck to the shelf where there was already glaze on the shelf, so I can probably get that cleaned up. This one's the same. You can see that glaze is a little thin. And then the platter. This one is it's the red glaze, but you can see how it has the glitter on the edge. It also darkens that red on the edge. Looks pretty nice. It's probably about 10 inches, 10-inch plate. So that's all the pieces from my kiln.